Okay, so in this example, I'm going to show you how to UV unwrap a head model in Maya. Now, I already have this head model with the ears stitched together with the head. So this is one half of the face. And I'm going to turn on my OSD hotkey so that you can see the key presses that I'm doing. All right. So now this head is only half a head, and I'm ready to duplicate another half before I join it together. Now what we want to do is we want to UV unwrap this head so that it all falls down into a flat, plain surface which you can use to texture in image editor like Photoshop. I already positioned the center right in front like this. Okay. So if you cannot get the center to fall in line, you can use the snapping tool, holding down the X key. Before you do that, you press Insert first to go to Center Shifting tool, then holding down the X key and then snapping it right at the center line. Okay, so once you've done that, you can exit, apply a duplicate special in a negative, in this case, negative X scale. And we want to create a copy. Right, then we select both of these together, and then we're going to join them together. Now you can use the mirror tool to do that as well, but traditionally this is what I prefer. So first, I'm going to go to object mode first, select both halves, go to mesh and combine. Now once you've combined them, if you go to component mode, there are still two separate elements. If I double click to select this element, you can notice that although they are one object, they're still separate elements. We need to merge them together. So go ahead and select the central vertices in wireframe mode. Yeah, just press 4 to go in wireframe mode. Make sure you only select the central vertices. If not, you go and deselect by holding down the control. All right, you can use the scale tool to force the vertices to line up together. In this case, I use the scale tool, pressing R and then scaling along the x-axis to merge it together. Then go to Edit Mesh and hit Merge. Now, I want to make sure that when I merge this head, I do not accidentally merge the lips together. And in this case, it appears that I did. Okay, let me just undo the merge again. Okay, this is still merged. Okay, so now I've unmerged it. So the merging threshold is a little bit too high. So I'm going to, in order to avoid it, I'm just going to move this. Move these vertices up a little bit more. Okay, we can come back and fix this later. All right, so now there's some separation between these vertices. So I'm going to do the merging again. Go and select the central vertices. Let's go to press 4 to go to wireframe. Holding down the control, left mouse click, drag a box to deselect the vertices that you do not want to be merged. Right? Okay, since I already applied the scale to force them to be together, now I can apply a merge. Go to Edit Mesh and hit Merge. Right, just to check that now it's a single component by double clicking on the face. I'm going to check the lips again. Okay, apparently it's still linked together. So anyway, I'm going to delete this faces and rebuild it again. what I'm doing here is I'm going to holding down using vertex snap to snap this to the other vertices here, and then this one I'm just going to manually push it in. Okay, or I should have lowered down the merging threshold even more so that I will avoid this. Okay, so I'm going to merge these vertices together. So be very careful when you have a situation like mine. So I'm going to press on 3 to make sure that it subdivides well. Right, so I'm going to delete history, Alt-Shift-D to delete away the history, but I have to do that in object mode, Alt-Shift-D, right. And now I have a nicely merged head, which I'm ready for UV unwrap. Now, before I UV unwrap or UV layout this head, I have to give it a UV designation because I believe I started out modeling this as a flat plane. So if I go and open up the UV texture editor, you will notice that this UV layout is a mess. So I'm going to give, you can either delete and reassign one. So I'm just going to quickly give it a cylindrical projection by clicking on UV and applying a cylindrical projection. You'll notice that the cylindrical projection actually doesn't look too bad. And if you're happy with this, you can actually scale this down, put it aside, and then start to apply the UV unwrap. But if you look at the top edges, right, you notice that they are being stretched. Because if you apply a checker pattern, you notice that although the sides looks pretty okay, the top here is pretty messed up. So we want to apply another method of UV unwrap, which I prefer to use unfold. Okay, so I'm taking this manipulator and then I'm unfolding this, adjusting it until the cubes are correct. So even after I do this, only the sides look fine, but the top, it doesn't look that great. Okay, like I mentioned, if you're happy with this, you can actually work with this to apply your texture. Okay, however, I'm gonna apply another method. So while in edge component mode, I'm gonna cut a T line, inverted T line here. So starting from this edge, I'm gonna select this edge. I'm gonna turn on wireframe mode so you can see here at the forehead there, and then right at the center edge line, I'm gonna select this edge. So you select this inverted T, then go to the back of the neck at the edge of the back of the neck. Select the last edge, holding down the shift and double click. So the entire edge will be selected until you have a T line looking like this. Then go ahead and go to UV and apply a cut UV edges. Okay, once you have done that, you can go back to your UV texture editor. Select UVs. So right mouse click, go to UV selection mode, select all the UVs. Okay, holding down the shift and right mouse click and choose unfold. Now, before you choose unfold, you want to go to the option box and make sure that you are at unfold 3D. Some versions of, sometimes the Maya, right, will not activate this unfold 3D. You can go to Windows, Preferences, the plugins folder to reactivate this unfold 3D. So some of your machines, right, might have this issue. So do not use legacy, use the unfold 3D and then just hit apply. You notice that now Maya has managed to unfold everything until it looks like a continuous skin. Okay, except for these faces here, which we can easily fix. There are some parts, right, which we can still tweak a little bit more. All right. You notice that we can see the mouth open up a little bit better. So let's fix this area here. Go over to edge mode, and you can see if I hover over this edge, you notice that this edge is actually sharing with this face. This face is actually sharing the same edge. So we can hold down the shift, right mouse click, and use the move and sew tool. Right. And or you can go to UV and manually move and tweak it yourself. And we find another instance where we have a shared edge between these two faces, and we can go ahead and apply a move and sew. And then we can just manually tweak this. And you can go ahead and apply another unfold. So again, select all the UVs, holding down the shift right mouse click, and then unfold. Okay, sometimes Maya will, the UV editor will flip it for you. So all you have to do is just manually rotate it until you level it up. Okay, let's check this edge here. It seems that this edge, these are shared edge as well. Going to move and sew. Okay, and cover that up. The eye seems evenly spaced, but sometimes if you want the UVs, right, to even out a little bit, you can manually select the UVs that you want to relax. You can hold down the shift, right mouse click, apply a smooth UV tool. The smooth UV tool gives you the option of unfolding or relaxing groups of selected UVs. So you can left mouse click and select the unfold. You can unfold it further, or you can relax it further. Of course, you want to apply a checker pattern and go over to your shaded view and check how the UV looks. Okay, generally everything looks all right. Okay, there is some distortion around the edges where we cut the T-cut. Okay, but that is fine because this area is going to be covered by hair. Okay, generally speaking, there's not too much stretching going on. There's some slight stretching going around the sides of the faces, but generally speaking, the checker pattern is applied quite evenly on the face. So once you're done with this, you can scale this shell down, put it aside, and then start the UV unwrap the rest of the body to make use of this UV space. Okay, so this is how you UV unwrap a human head.